Hi, Alan Schimmel, DevOps.com here at DevOps Enterprise Summit 2015 with a friend of mine, Mark Hornbeek actually Mark writes for DevOps.com occasionally, but his full-time job's with Spirent Systems. Mark, welcome.
Thank you.
Mark, you're an expert on QA and automated testing. You've had probably more years than you want to admit in the industry. And you just came back from your talk here at DevOps Enterprise Summit.
Yes.
Why don't you give our viewers a little bit of background about what your talk was about and how it went?
Sure. I've been involved in continuous testing now for more than, let's say, 35 years.
Okay.
But it wasn't always called continuous testing. And what I found, talking to many organizations in my current role as a solutions architect for Spirent, talking to lots of customers about why their DevOps is not working, often it's because they haven't really got the testing part of the DevOps right. And they really need to understand, how do you get it right? Why are we not getting the results, these wonderful results everybody keeps talking about? How do we really make testing work? It's not just a matter of running a test after a build has been made. There's a lot more nuances to testing than that. In fact, testing covers the entire pipeline of things. So that's what my talk is about, the best practices of DevOps, at least the best practices that I've noticed over many engagements with customers and internal implementations with companies I've worked for.
Yep. So Mark, in addition to your session here at DevOps Enterprise, I know you've written at DevOps.com a whole bunch about continuous testing. And one of the things we hear from QA people is sort of maybe a little resistance or pushback to DevOps because they think somehow there's jobs are in jeopardy. Can you give us what your opinion of that is, or maybe a counter for those people out there who are worried about that?
That's actually one of the 7 best practices I was just talking about. The cultural aspects of DevOps, in particular relative to continuous testing. And as you said, there's some concern when you try to push testing earlier, as they say, shift left into the development, more testing. And the concerns goes both ways. The developers are also concerned about having to do more testing as well.
Sure.
And different organizations are handling that differently. You can have QA become the experts to support development, or development just taking on more testing. But frankly, I think a lot of it has to do with just making sure that the organization itself has the right rewards and incentives in place to make it a positive thing, to find more relevant test results. It's not interesting or important to find just more results of testing. They need to be relevant. So training, roles and responsibilities, incentives, those are all critical. And I think if those are set up properly, then everybody really wants to be on the same page to get a better product faster, which is what DevOps is all about.
Absolutely. And Mark, how has your experience overall been at DevOps Enterprise Summit this year?
This is a really quality DevOps event. I've attended a number of DevOps events, and certainly the average quality of the speakers here is high, and I really was happy that I was able to come and participate.
Well, and I think you were one of the people who made it. Hi, Mark. Let's not be too shy. I know the quality of your writing and your speaking, and yet more importantly, your technical expertise. So on behalf of DevOps Enterprise and IT Revolution, Electric Cloud, DevOps.com, thank you for speaking.
Thank you. I did notice that one of the feedbacks from the last DOES was that automated testing is a key concern for many people. So I'm glad that some of my talk hopefully helped with that.
Continues to be.
Yes.
Excellent. Mark Hornbeek, continued success, and we hope to hear from you. Actually, we can read more of your stuff on DevOps.com. I know you're planning a bunch of things.
Yes.
Thank you again.
Thank you,
This is Alan Schimmel of DevOps.com.